Hello and welcome to Head Over Heels on the Commodore 64, and well, this came out 87 if I remember, and well, it was originally a ZX Spectrum game by John Whitman and Bernie Drummond, but Colin Portrait did, I think it was pretty much a line by line conversion, but seems the 64 processor's a little on the slow side. I think you had to change one or two rooms just to because they were just too slow. But otherwise, it's a fairly accurate conversion, even down to the graphics, which looks suspiciously like the Spectrum. But that's not a bad thing because I think the graphics were great on the Spectrum. But and the music has certainly been improved on the 64 version. Some nice little tunes and jingles, some nice sound effects. So right away you can see that this is well, this is graphically the Spectrum version. So you take control of Head, which is this little character here. But you can also press the swap key, which you can also take control of Heels. If I swap back, now Head and Heels are apparently they're spies and they've just been caught. So they're currently in prison in different cells, which is why they can't get them together at the moment. But Heads can you can jump quite high, and you can glide in mid-air, so you can turn round mid-air. So that's his basic abilities. Heels can't jump as high, and he can't change direction in mid-air, but he can move a lot faster. And each character also has another ability that I'll explain once I get there. So let's get started. We'll jump into this teleport. Yes, the prison cells have teleports, so a bit of an oversight there. So you can push objects around. So the environment is actually quite well done. Nice isometric environment. It's quite rare to have decent ones on the 64, but this is quite well done. It's quite fast, as you can see. I mean, it runs almost the same speed as the Spectrum version, to be honest. Just in some of the later screens when there's a lot happening, sometimes there's a bit of slowdown, but it's not too bad. And there's a fish. We'll come back to that in a minute. This is one of the screens where there is a bit of slowdown. There's a little button here. If you push it, it controls this this Dalek. It looks a bit like Prince Charles. It's Prince Charles Dalek. Yes, very funny. Now there's a bit of slowdown where this is a lot faster than the Spectrum, to be honest. But it's not too bad. It's not like it's unendurable on the 64. You know, it's just a bit slow. What we're trying to do is we're trying to set up this screen so that we can get this bag that's at the top right of the screen. And once we've picked up the bag, this lets Heels pick up objects now, or certain types of object anyway. So you can carry one object at a time in the bag. So there's a little drum here. It looks like a little drum. So we can actually now pick that up. And we can drop it. And then we can just make our own little step. Like these little robots. Now the aim of the game is that there's, you saw at the start there was a little screen with 5 crowns on it. Yeah, the overall game is to escape back home with as many of these crowns as you can manage to get. So you don't have to get them all. You don't have to get all the crowns, but and each world's got its own theme. So at the minute we're in sort of home, so it's like a medieval sort of environment. But this is the home sort of Blacktooth Empire sort of layout. If you stop at this screen here, we swap to head. Now, I'll be honest, I was a big fan of this game back in the day. I think the game design is brilliant, one of the best designed 8-bit games I've ever played. I think just all the little puzzles, you know, they're all well thought out. Some of them are quite fiendish, require some pixel perfect jumping. They can get a bit annoying, but it's well done. We'll switch here, turns off the... yeah, we can't go on the floor in this level because it's got spikes in it. Now I'm going to pick up these tarts. It's a box full of donuts, I think. Yeah, a box full of donuts. We'll come back to that in a minute. But you can see it's lit up on the left side of the screen. I think the graphics, even though they're obviously the Spectrum version graphics, they're really stunningly drawn. I think the animation's great. I like the little animation on heads here, so blinking eyes and a little wiggle when he walks. These blocks will disappear, so you got to be careful. Ah, shit. Anyway, I got what I wanted. So I've now got this gun that I picked up. So now I can fire these donuts at the enemies. And apparently, according to the manual, the enemy stops to lick the jam off his face or something. But but in short, it just means the enemy's stunned. And these baskets are deadly to touch, so you gotta be careful how you jump over them. So here we are at this screen again, and if you swap, you can still see heels is down the bottom here, but we can't get them together yet. Again, there's quite a lot moving on this screen. You can see it's a little bit of slowdown, but still playable. Yeah, I think a lot of people maybe put off this game because it looks, you know, like a Spectrum game. You know, if you're a bit of a snob when it comes to that sort of thing. But that's a mistake to make, because this is just a great game. And there's no way it could have been coloured in and run at a sort of sane speed. If you played the Amstrad CPC version, it's got, I think, 4 colours on screen, so it's slightly more colourful looking. And it's probably the best version to play, to be fair. Oh, I fucked that up, I think. Just got to time this so he bounces back. That's it. So there's lots of little puzzles like that. So there's a choice of routes to go here. If we go to the right hand door, that we have to, I think it will give us some more power ups, but I'm not going to go that way. So you've got to. It can get a lot frustrating here, but got to build a little ladder. I can't know how to. Obviously, it pays to have a map in these sort of games, or make your own. Otherwise, you all get a bit lost. When I play this game so many times that. So I've reached the market, and this is where Head and Heels will be if they meet up. If I can get a hit there. Some more little jumps to do. I don't fancy trying to do that screen. So you can see there was a bunny on that screen. That's a power up that gives you either speed up or invulnerability for a limited time. And yeah, heals can. There's a power up for heals that can make him jump further. I've already had that power up. Just didn't mention it. Whoops. Trying to avoid these little Daleks. Come on, come this way. So I've got the invulnerability power up for, well, it's counting down now, so. This is a tricky jump, this one. Hey, first time. So we're now in the market, and hopefully there's heals, and once we have them together, what we can do is, if we jump Head on top of heals and press the swap key, we can now combine them, and we now have a fast and agile combination. Some power. There it is down there. And what the game does, at various points, it forces you to split them up again and make them go their separate ways, and then combine them again. And it's very well done. I think the game design is just awesome. You know, and it's not a word I would use lightly. But very rare I've played a game that's this quality of game design. And well, not much more I can really show you. This is one of these screens that's a little on the slow side on the 64. Pretty much any screen that's got these Daleks to control can be a little slow. think that, well, there's two ways you can do this. You can either have one at a time, and then the other one can help bring the other one over, or you can try and do what I'm doing and just bring both at the same time. So here we can't get through there without splitting them up. Push them through. So this teleport takes us to the moon base, and this is really the you can see that there's a little sort of stairway that's made up of little puppies that disappear when I enter the room. That's because over generations that they have a hatred of heels, or sorry, of heads family. So every time they see heads, it's a self-defense mechanism. They disappear. So if I go in just as heels, they don't disappear, which means that obviously this screen I can only negotiate as heels. Oops, a little mover platform here. Again, these can be quite tricky. So the platform hits a wall, it will carry on in the direction that you're facing, so just got to make sure you do things right. So if we go back to heels, heads. So if I try in this room again, you can see these puppies will disappear. So can't go that way. And actually I think I prefer to go back and go this way, I think. Oops, didn't jump that very well. So you can see you've got a limited amount of lives per character, and you can continue the game if you lose all the lives for one character, but very difficult, almost impossible to complete the game really with just one character. Oh, out of donuts. So we're going to have to outsmart this little bloke here if we can, because I'm out of donuts now. I just can't remember how to do it. Ah, oh, get. Alright, I'll swap to swap to heels. Alright, well, there's not much more I can show you. I mean, you've seen enough to get an idea of the gameplay. As I said, I'm quite a big fan of it. And well, I always enjoyed playing it back in the day. I'm enjoying playing it now, to be honest. I'll give this 10 out of 10. There's absolutely no question in my mind that this is worthy of 10 out of 10. It is arguable whether it's worth playing on a different platform. The Spectrum version's a little faster. The Amstrad version looks nicer. There is a version for the Amiga and ST, which was sort of, I think it was done as a sort of side project by Colin Porch, the guy who did this version. And eventually got a release, but it doesn't look too impressive for a 16-bit game. But and the graphics are a little garish, I think. But yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it really matters which version you pick. I still think you'll enjoy it. But I mean, if you don't like making maps, then worth downloading a map first. before you try and play the game. Otherwise, you just get lost. Right, that's all for this video. 10 out of 10, easy. See you in the next one.